we finally get a chance to catch up. Like we kept missing each other like for at least a good 3 months.
I know timing is crazy. Even though it's just 3 hours apart, I think timing and lifestyle and all that sort of stuff
Yeah.
is always tough.
No, legit, it was what UFC 300, the Holloway Gaethje. I missed that. We missed the Bilal Muhammad and Leon Edwards fight. We missed the was
Like
it the
Harris fought as well.
yeah. The what was the most recent one? Who won the most recent fight?
Is he a DDP?
Yeah, Izzy and Duplessis. Yeah. Bruh, so we keep, at least with alhamdulillah, we finally managed to get a time and cool, awesome. Welcome to the I guess the third edition of the Geek Out podcast and YK2K crossover. So yeah, here I am, Yusuf and G Man, one half or one third of the Brothers Geek Out channel, the martial arts side of the channel. So yeah, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm sure Ashraf would appreciate you saying 1/3.
Oh,
You guys kicked me out, so he would appreciate that. But yeah, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm glad we got a chance to catch up. We were just talking about it. Just it took a couple months before for us to kind of line up timing, just because of timing and lifestyle and all that sort of stuff. But it's good to catch up with you, man. Everything's good, alhamdulillah. How's everything with you, man?
alhamdulillah, yeah. It's been a while. I think the last time we actually had an episode was when you were back in London in December. I think when me, you, and Ash were talking about video games. You know, when God of War, the DLC came
Yeah,
out. So that was
been that
probably
long.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot has happened, bro, since then. So yeah, bro. Like, where do you want to start? Like, where do you want to start first? You know what? Let's continue from the first episode that we did together because you finally managed to watch TMNT 1990, and like I want to get like your opinions on it because you did see it recently a couple months
Oh,
back.
the original. Yeah. We've
Yeah,
done a retro movie review. So
yeah,
my refresh take on it. Yeah, you know what? Like, first of all, the martial arts. Like, I remember you telling me go with Golden Harvest. So I went back and I was just watching it, and it did. It definitely was like. I mean, obviously it was Golden Harvest, but you just feel the movement. It's a spinning kick. It's a lot, especially a lot of the spinning kicks and everything like that.
yeah.
I definitely saw that in there, and it was I just kind of appreciated it from a different level. But in general, what I told Kibla when I was watching that movie, when done a retro review, if you notice that everything, especially in the first one, it was all shot at nighttime, or you like most of it was shot at nighttime, and I loved that about the movie because they look very jolly and happy and whatnot just by the costume, and the costume design is perfect. But in some of the comics, it's very dark, right? Especially some of the new ones, like the Ronin one or whatnot. But what I loved about this, yes, they look a certain way, they look kind of happy and jolly with the big mask and everything, but it was all shot in dark, and it did really capture the grittiness of New York City. So you kind of feel that element of you're in this gritty city of New York City. You can feel like the foot soldiers vibes just because of the underground, the darkness, being at nighttime and whatnot. And then you got these turtles who are the heroes. And I think they were the bright light of the movie, even though if it was in the darkness, they were the bright light because of the characteristics, because of the mechanisms, because of the smiles in their faces and whatnot. And they were the heroes. And I kind of liked that element. I really liked it. So rewatching it again was awesome. It was always a good touch. It just brought back so much memory. And Mikey just gave me so much jokes, just the little comments and stuff. It's like it just reminds me of childhood memories, which is always amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, totally agree, bro. The movie itself just is like I've pretty much like you know how like Kibla is with Back to the Future, like he knows like the ins and out of that movie. I'm kind of like that with this movie. It's basically like a lightning in a bottle with this movie because it's extremely violent when like you rewatch it. Like you have like Raphael saying damn and crap and like swear words back then. Weapons like bladed weapons would not be allowed like in a kids
Mm.
like movie at the time. As you said, like most of the movies taking place at night. You have like jokes that wouldn't be said today. Like there was like an immigrant joke that just stuck with me. It was like you know when they get kicked out of New York the first time when Shredder beats them, they're in the farm after they come back to New
Mm.
York to like stop the Shredder, and they're in the caravan and they walk in and they're trying to like sneak into their own home again. And then Raphael's like, "Now I see what it's like to travel without a green card." And I'm like, "Bro, that's like a
But
straight up illegal immigrant joke."
yeah, I mean, and even that scene that we've been laughing about where April gets slapped by the foot soldier, her comment before was, did I miss a Sony payment because they were Japanese?
Yeah,
And again, there's a joke she can't say now, but
yeah,
back in the days, it doesn't offend me. It will never be like, oh, you have to cancel it or whatnot. But you're right. I mean, they got away with a lot more back then, but sometimes, like, I don't know, it just depends, man. I mean, some people get offended as they do these days, but
yeah,
to me, it's cool.
yeah. Oh no, same, yeah. And the action as well, bro. Like the that roof scene with the Raphael when he gets jumped by like 100 foot ninjas. It's one of my favorite fight scenes ever. Like as you said, like with the Golden Harvest, like Hong Kong, martial art style. You see like the spinning kicks, and also like just the fight scenes, like the camera work in general. This is what I hate. I hate modern action movies just because you know how like when fight scenes happening, there's a lot of cuts. Like when the person's about to throw a punch, it cuts, and then it the punch happens. But like with the roof scene specifically, like the camera's just there at the back, holding the frame while all the actors are just doing their stunt work. Oh, it's amazing, man. Timeless. I love it so much.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, like I said earlier, like with the childhood memories, like
Mm.
yeah, I always have this vivid memory, and it'll never leave me forever. Especially when you bring up the movie, it comes back to me. It's like every time we used to watch that movie, me, kids, and even Ash might be too young, but he would say we'd eat pizza, and Dad will make us pizza. Dad will buy a pizza from your basic pizza from Sainsbury's or whatnot, put some Bengali chilies on it, make it for us. But it just felt right to watch that movie with pizza. And these are memories. I'm gonna be like 20 years, 30 years from now, I'll be 67 years old with kids. And inshallah, and we'll be talking about the same thing. Like, remember those days when we used to watch Turtles and eat pizza, and Dad used to make us pizza. Like, this is what I love about movies, and especially old school movies as well, because they link to memories
Mm.
and whatnot. So that's why I always have those play movies and whatnot. But Turtles being one of them will have a place in my heart always.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Legit. Yeah. I can't wait for the last Ronin movie, man. But yeah, I just wanted to get your
Oh
thoughts.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like no, they're making the game as well, you know.
Comics.
Oh really, bro? The comics are so good, man.
I
It's
haven't read it yet, and my comic book shop don't have the whole graphic novel. Maybe I gotta buy it from somewhere. Or maybe next time I come to UK, I'll ask Gibbs to let me borrow his one.
okay.
But I do want to read that.
Bro, they're very common in the UK. Like every bookshop I go to, the Last Ronin's like always on shelves. So I definitely recommend.
I
Yeah.
do wanna, I do want to. So you said they're making a video game too?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the style of God of War, like that gameplay. So yeah.
Okay, you know, I'm into that. Like that God of War style of gameplay is. Listen, I'm not too much into the video games, but that style is amazing.
Mm.
So if it's like that, I'm in. I'm definitely
Right.
in.
But it's still very early development. Legit, it was just a teaser saying in development with like a concept art, and that was it. So it's still early days.
Cool.
Yeah. But speaking of games, like how's the gaming been? Tekken 8?
Just Tekken 8, man. For me, Ash is the gamer. So,
Right.
but he's been buying loads of technology. It's been crazy. Like from Ash's perspective, he's got his PS5, he's got his Xbox, he's got his Steam Deck, he's got the PS5 handheld thing. He just bought these X-Real glasses where he can connect it to them, and he can through the glasses you get like a 100 width screen or 130-inch screen or whatever. I
Interesting.
might buy some as well. So he's the guy with gaming and whatnot. He's playing all of it. He's playing Assassin's Creed right now and playing those other ones. For me, it's Tekken. I'm still going for Tekken right now. I just purchased Eddie to the whole capoeira scene and whatnot, which is
Nice.
amazing. I was very disappointed though. There was no story mode with him. There's no character episode with him. So I should have researched that before. I just assumed it would be there, but that's very disappointing, man. I paid £6, man. I want my story mode.
That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I researched it, and a lot of fans were disappointed. So I've got no motivation to buy Hihachi when he comes out
All
right
right.
now. And until I find out that they're gonna release story modes, I've got no motivation to buy him. But I'm loving the game. Look, I mean, online as well. You gotta be on PlayStation Plus. I don't have that. That's where back in the days you was able to go just online and play.
Yeah.
I don't know when that changed. But I'm just going for the character episodes. I think the main characters who I enjoy, I'm really trying to learn combos and go for the command list and stuff like that. Characters who I just want to get through, I just learn a combo or two and just get through the story mode. To be honest, there's so many with beat 'em ups. And then there's that other mode, it's called
Arcade Quest.
mode. Yeah, that's the one. I started a little bit, but I'll carry that on once I complete it with everyone. But
Right.
I enjoy the game, man. I mean, I haven't played big like a beat 'em up game, especially I missed Tekken 7. I just lost interest. But this has definitely brought my interest. I love the gameplay. I love the combos, the martial arts element of it. I love the new gameplays, like the I don't have to explain it, man. The power ups and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the arenas. The technicality and the graphics and the details in the characters are amazing. Yoshimitsu just they always concentrate on him. I with him, I always feel like they put him aside and say, think unique, like think something outside of the box in regards to video game design, beat 'em up game design, because he's just like obviously like an alien being. But I love looking at Yoshimitsu. I don't know if I necessarily use him here and there, but I definitely love picking him and just looking at his style of characteristics, which is always amazing. But yeah, man, it's good. I love the story mode, the whole Tekken, the main story arc and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was wicked. Like more combat, I think started off that trend,
Yeah.
or in video games, and I think that's the best.
That final fight where you played the story, right? The final fight, bro, is amazing. That final chapter between, like, quick spoilers, but Kazuya and Jin. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good.
Brilliant. Because you're fighting him, you're doing like what 10 rounds or something.
Yeah.
I love that. That was awesome. I think the mistake I made, and I'll go back and do it, is I didn't practice with Jin, so I'm kind of playing button bashing, getting through the story, but I should have practiced the combos. But that was absolutely brilliant, and I wish they do more of that. Like I kind of wish like you have that story up, but like when you release like Eddie or Heihachi, or I don't know, if you pick one of the other characters that's in the story,
like more chapters, or like from their perspective. Yeah.
I would love that. Like Lance or whatnot, is it Lance or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, he's a part of the story. I'd love to get his perspective.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I do have to say that little that part where you go through different characters and you're fighting in the army in the battlefield.
Oh, that was sick. Yeah, my favorite bit. When King was like, "Your King's turn," and like everyone, because he's a wrestler, everyone's like King, and he gets hyped. Oh, it was amazing, bro. That was sick. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, Tekken 8 really got me back into playing fighting games in general. Like I took a big hiatus. I think Street Fighter 5 was the last fighting game I played. I skipped Tekken 7. I completely skipped over like the Soul Calibur games, like all the other games in general. So when I saw Tekken 8 and I played it, I was like, oh, this is like, you really feel the impact when like you make those combos. The soundtrack is amazing, bro. That menu, the menu screen music is like just to die for. Like you press the X button, like you see Kazuya's eye light up, and like the music plays. It's so like magical. The story mode was great. Tekken is such it's cheesy, but like it's just so chaotic and like bombastic at the same time. It's the most like chaotic family beef I've ever seen in a story. Yeah,
family's got issues.
Oh, honestly, and now like they introduce Reina to the story, and bruh, I'm like, okay, I'm curious what's gonna happen in the next like story though. The thing is, I don't want another game for them to continue the story. Like as you said, I want there to just, if it's DLC, add more chapters to the story, because you want this game to last a while, innit? Like usually fighting games last about five years before the next generation. So like I want them to put more story in rather than just like a typical like DLC characters and cosmetics and that's it. But overall, yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. Like my main character it's probably King. His wrestling is, it's so just addictive, man. You can pull out RKOs from nowhere, so satisfying. But yeah, in terms of games, I've been playing a lot more than you, I'd say. I'm more Nashor's side. Like I played, the last time I spoke to you, was it God of War? I played Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, a bit of Elden Ring, Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. My fighting game phase happened because of that. Guardians of the Galaxy as well. Very underrated game. A bit of Cyberpunk, The Witcher. I'm just going to my library right now. And currently I just downloaded Star Wars Jedi Survivor, so we'll see how that goes. But the gaming's been put on hold at the moment just because there's so much stuff happening around me at the moment. But yeah. It's been a good year and a half, I think, for gaming in general. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
That Guardians game, but I played it a bit. I just couldn't get into it. I'm not a gamer as much anymore, man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the God of War had me, Ghost of Tsushima had me, Tekken's got me, but I play it here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for that next like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima.
Like that big AAA game that's like, you have to get it.
And that sort of gameplay and great story and whatnot. Maybe it's the new Wolverine game. I don't know, but I'm just waiting for something like that.
Would you get into like indie games by any chance? Like the smaller like titles that are like not really like the AAA, or would you just like stick to the big games? So like a AAA game's kind of like like Spider-Man, God of War, Batman Arkham. My go-to is Sifu. If you've heard of it.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've seen Ashraf play it.
Yeah, it's like you can finish it in like under 10 hours, and it's like it's probably the best martial art game I've played. Think of it like the God of War DLC where it's like it makes you work for the level to beat and the boss to beat. It's kind of like that. But it's like set in a, it's like a typical Golden Harvest movie where like your sensei got killed and like you have to take revenge on like the group, the gang that killed him. So
Okay.
like there's 6 levels. One's like a botany power plant. One's like a museum. One's a gallery, and they're all like mafia bosses in China. Take them out basically. Take the
Okay,
goons
yeah, I've
out.
seen
Yeah, yeah,
Ashford,
yeah.
and I've seen some of the clips he showed me, like the martial arts and the countering and everything.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
It's very
I need
addictive.
to get into that. I like simple, like, remember that Chayun Fat game, Stranglehold, I think it was. Do you remember that one? It was it was I think it was PS3 or 4, I can't remember. But Strangle, it's just basically a shoot 'em up type of game.
Right.
I heard that they're remaking Max Payne 1 and 2. I'll be on that. That's easy.
That'd be cool.
Shoot 'em up, nice Matrix, whatever, with that slow mo and everything. Those fun, easy games. I'm good to go. I just have fun with. But yeah, I'm very picky now with video games.
Yeah.
I just need something that, like I said, I can put on and off. My timing is so tough. So if there's something I could boss on for like 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes and then turn off, come back to it next time, I could do stuff like that. Stuff that I need to invest time in, like at least a minimum an hour, is difficult. God of War and Ghost of Tsushima, yes. But Ghost of Tsushima, man, and God of War, actually, they took me like 3, 4 years to complete. So it's just timing and lifestyle, man. That's what
Yeah.
it is, man.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
I'm the thing is I'm exactly like that, but I give more leeway to games, and I'm like that with with movies and TV shows at the moment. Like with
Mm.
TV shows, I'm like, bro, the show needs to be every season needs to be a 10-10. Every episode needs to be a 10-10. If not, I don't want to watch it.
Mm.
Okay, an example is like the Disney stuff, like Star Wars, for example. I'm like a hardcore Star Wars fan, and I'm not a fan of what Disney have done since they've taken over. I like The Mandalorian. Everything else, I'm like, you know what? This is not for me. For people who enjoy it, good for you. Let me just, I'd rather dedicate my time somewhere else. I'm like that now. Unless like it's like,
Yeah.
yo, this is a good start. Like everyone needs to watch the Star Wars show. Like Mandalorian season 1, for example, and season 2 was like,
Mm.
you have to watch this. It's like that at the moment for me. Like Cobra Kai was the only like other example at the moment when I was like, let me watch this. But other than that, I'm not watching a TV series at the moment right now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you make a good point because obviously time is valuable, so you don't want to waste it. I find myself like, so for example, I just watched that movie, the Challenger with what's her name, the girl from Spider-Man. I forgot her name now. Who plays Mary Jane in the new Spider-Man?
Oh,
What's her name?
the new Spider-Man. Oh,
Yeah.
Zendaya.
Zendaya,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's about a tennis movie. Anyway, my point is, it took me 4 days to watch. Right? I just don't have the time. Like you said, something that I might not be interested in, but I thought let me just pull it on. It's like 30 minutes a day, and what I do is during my lunch break, when I'm quickly eating my dinner, I'm like, let me get away from my work, and then let me just go downstairs and eat. Because what things get so busy and whatnot. So I was like, let me just go downstairs, eat, watch 30 minutes. And I literally time it. Like the movie's like 2 hours long. So I'm
Yeah.
like 30 minutes, but 4 days, cool. And I do it like that. But yes, something that I would binge is like The Boys, for example. I binged that. Umbrella Academy, me and my wife, we binged that. I enjoyed that. But yeah, Acolytes, for example, right? I started watching it before I went to the UK. And then I watched episode 1, I watched episode 2. I was like, oh, this is all right. I went to episode 3 and I was like, okay. And then I went to the UK, but because of episode 3, I was like, I have no motivation to waste any time while I'm in the UK to watch it.
Mhm.
So I left it for a whole 6 weeks, came back to Dubai, and then I watched the rest and I watched it slowly. And I agree, like, it was not something that I was enthusiastic to watch, especially being a Star Wars fan. I'm not the most hardcore fan, but I do enjoy it. But yeah, I think you got to be very specific with your time in regards to shows
Yeah.
and whatnot. I think I'm more like that with video games. I'd rather just put something on TV and just chill
Right. Yeah.
than and get into. So yeah, I guess I don't prioritize video games as much as I
Yeah.
used to.
Fair, yeah. I think we're kind of like on the same wavelength with that. Again, because like just life is so busy. Like you wanna like training, for example. We might as well transition to that. Like, bro, like it's so hard to balance like everything when you have like training, work, like your own personal projects, like family stuff. I was even asking like Kibla. I was like, how the hell do you like balance everything? Plus, like you go to like you get early screenings and like screeners and interviews for stuff. I'm like, what the hell? How do you do all this? Yeah, it's mad. How do you do it? How do you do it? May I ask? When you balance like
It's
everything
it's
or
Yeah, bro. I
trying
mean,
to.
it's a hard thing. It builds anxiety, all that sort of stuff, because you want to fit everything in. If you miss something, you feel a bit guilty, all this sort of stuff. For me, it's all routine and discipline, man.
Mhm.
Routine and discipline. When I'm not in routine, when I'm not disciplined with a routine, like say, for example, when I'm in the UK, I'm kind of more on vacation mode or whatnot. Everything's half-hearted sort of thing. My training, I get it in. It's half-hearted. I don't do much martial arts in the UK at all. It's more like just maintenance work, so it's half-hearted. My diet's almost out the window. I might just do like fasting and stuff, intermittent fasting, but I eat whatever. So that's out the window. And just in general, I wouldn't do extracurriculum stuff like in life in general, like reading. Like in the morning when I'm here, I'm in routine. I accomplish everything during the day. Like I wake up in the morning, I do my prayers, I spend 30 minutes reading Quran, reading Islamic books, learning how to read the Quran off YouTube and all that sort of stuff. I do that, right? I could do it when I'm disciplined here. When I'm in the UK, I don't do any of that. I just pray. I just do my prayer, which is what I need to do. Is my discipline to do my 5 times. But I wouldn't do the extra curriculum of reading the Quran and all that other sort of stuff. And then that leads on for the rest of the day, bro. Getting my morning workout in, doing my work, taking a bit of time away from work at lunchtime. It's all discipline, it's all timing. If I'm not in that routine, it all goes out the window. And that leads on to training in the evening. And like with training, I always tell people like I'm getting older and whatnot, and my lifestyle's changed now. I can't be as selfish with my time as I used to be because now I'm married, so I gotta make sure I give her time as well. Training's an hour away, and then I train for say 2 hours ish, and then it's an hour back. So it's like a 4 hour process. So that's why again when I do them, and I'm talking about martial arts because that's the more important training for me. So that's why I just do it Monday to Wednesdays because then Thursdays I have work calls, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday I spend with my wife. So it's all gonna be discipline and whatnot. So man, that's how I kind of get through it. And then also like Monday is jujitsu, and we spar for 45 minutes or whatnot. I'm finished. My body's dead. I can't take it no more. Um, so Monday night, I'm busted. That class finishes at by the time I get home, it's about 11:30.
Oh
So I
right, okay.
gotta I gotta just kind of pack up my stuff, like whatever for the next day, sort things out, and then go to bed. And I'm busted. I'm hurting. I don't sleep at that night, and I wake up the next morning at 7. But it's discipline that wakes me up at 7 and gets through the day. It's discipline that gets me to training that evening, even though I'm busted and whatnot. But I'm always trying to find ways to recover and all that sort of stuff. So to answer your question, the long story short, it's discipline and routine, man. That's how I would ever get through it. If I didn't have that, then everything would be all over the place, and I wouldn't be getting through everything. So that's it on me, man.
I guess my fear is when you're juggling a lot of balls at the same time. Like I have this one fear where like one ball might drop at the moment. So
Mhm.
I'm just about juggling everything at the moment. That's just my mindset at the moment. But yeah, discipline of course is extremely important. As long as like I guess even if you're making 1% progress where you think you're stagnating, as long as you're just flowing a little bit, that's all that matters. Um,
Definitely. I think especially with martial arts, when I was younger, um, like I said, I didn't have no commitments. I was single, so my time was selfish. I trained. I went everywhere around London, East London, North London, West London to train, South London, everywhere. Right? Cool. I was happy to travel, do it, do the training, come home, eat, sleep, wake up fresh, go do it and whatnot. And now like jujitsu on one day, MMA on Tuesday, wrestling on Wednesday. I'm only doing one class once a week. I used to do those classes like 3 times a week or at least twice a week. Now it's only one. And I do have that in my head. Like I'm not on the mats as much doing jujitsu, but it's that one thing, bro. Like rather than dropping the ball, like the juggling example, like rather than just dropping it completely, just once a week, at least I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And at least I'm getting those movements going and I'm rolling and whatnot. I wish I could get more time on the mats, but that means I would have to sacrifice wrestling
yeah,
or MMA or whatnot. And right now, I don't do kickboxing, but MMA we strike a lot more. So I would say that's my striking class. But one day I see myself like just possibly committing to just one, like just jujitsu and just focus on the one. The wrestling, I can see that being too hard for my body, to be honest with you.
hmm
After a wrestling class now, shooting, and whatnot for the whole class the next days my knees are hurting. So I actually see myself at a point. And then when we spar in wrestling, it's tough because wrestling is so hard.
But wrestling is hard.
And
I want to cry on him,
so hard.
bro. Okay, so basically we do 45 minutes of wrestling before jiu-jitsu class sometimes. Bro, I want to die. Like there was this one drill where the guy is like, okay, shoot for your opponent's leg and hold it. Just hold it. The opponent has to get out of it. Bro, just holding that person's leg is like, just. I'm legit on the floor, bro, like panting and breathing. Like just lie on the floor. Just I'm like, bruh, and we haven't even started jiu-jitsu class yet. It's
The
so
thing
hard.
about wrestling is such a fast-paced sport. Like there's fast twitch muscles. Like they're very
You're
athletic.
constantly
You
just
do back
moving.
flips and all that stuff, and it's just move. The way you drill in wrestling is fast. It's fast.
Yeah.
Whereas jiu-jitsu, you take your time,
Yeah.
technique, get the angle, scoot your hips. But with wrestling, it's like shoot, shoot,
Yeah.
next guy shoot. It's just fast, fast, fast. Last Wednesday, unexpected. Wednesday is more of a technical class, but the wrestling coach wasn't in. Someone else took the class. He was like, "I was sparring the whole class." Bro, it was disgusting, man. It was like basically what it is like he puts a timer. For every minute it will beep. You have to switch partners and it was for 10 minutes. Each round was 10 minutes. We've done 3 rounds of that. Bro, first of all, I'm the smallest guy in the class. And secondly, like 3 rounds of it was like 30 minutes sparring. It was disgusting, man. And I was like, I love this. I know one day that I'm gonna have to stop this because I can't keep up with this pace. So saying that, I would eventually go into that just doing jujitsu or whatnot. I feel like that's how I would end up doing it because I just don't think my body can take all that stuff anymore. So I'm trying while my body can last. For put it that way.
Like, mashallah, man. Yeah, man. It's all good. Legit. Yeah, yeah. But bro, man. So I think the last time I spoke to you, I was like looking for a gym to join. Well, I think I didn't start grappling when I was spoken to you. Yeah, okay. So I've been doing grappling for a year now. So
Okay.
yeah, so let's say the first 6 months, I was legit just gym hopping. I can't lie. Going to this gym, that gym there, doing jiu-jitsu there, MMA there, kickboxing there. So I finally found like a decent place now where I'm like, this is my main like home base when it comes to like martial arts. They're mainly like a jiu-jitsu grappling gym. I just want to focus on that more just because I'm just trash at it. I was like, let me just get better at this. So I pretty much train like at least I want to say 3 to 5 times a week, which I'm okay with. Like I'm getting by with. Okay, anything above that, I'm gonna kill myself. The body strain's insane. But yeah, bro, honestly, like jiu-jitsu is extremely fun. Grappling is very fun. It's very technical though. I can't lie. It's like you legit start at level 0. It's insane. It's like crap. Like yeah, you don't know what you're doing at first. And it's like you're slowly just leveling up, slowly and slowly and slowly. To this day, to be fair, I don't know what I'm doing still. Sometimes when I'm running with people, but like I can kind of see myself progress little by little as I'm going. But it's very technical. I can't lie. It's a lot of IQ that's needed in jiu-jitsu specifically. How long have you been doing
Definitely.
jiu-jitsu for?
So, man, on I would say on and off, honestly, on and off for say 2010 is when I first started my jiu-jitsu school in London. It was in Tottenham. Eddie Cohn is my original coach. And then when I say on and off, I remember 2012, I got injured. That's why I messed up my ankle when I stopped jiu-jitsu for like a year. Then I slowly got back into it. Then I moved to Hong Kong. I took months off, all that sort of stuff. And um, then in Hong Kong I trained. Then when I moved to Singapore, I remember taking like 6 to 8 months off. And then in Singapore, COVID happened. I remember taking like a good, so you know what I mean? It's been on and off sort of thing like that. But yeah, a long time now. But I think no matter what, jiu-jitsu is one of the most humbling sports or martial arts, man. I mean, look, kickboxing and all the others, I really enjoy them. But with jiu-jitsu, it's the only one that you go like hard at least, or you spar to a point where it's almost like real, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I tell my partners, like guys, like my body can't take it. Let's take a flow round or whatnot. But then there are rounds that you just go hard, or someone's just trying to kill you. So I'm like, I got to defend myself, right?
Uh,
But being the smallest guy and then having a purple belt around my waist is tough because the big dudes, especially the white belts and the big dudes, they just see purple belt and they're like, oh, this guy, like he's gonna be tough. So they approaching me like, oh, like I'm gonna kill them, and I'm approaching me like I know what's gonna go through your head. You're a white belt. You're bigger than me. You're gonna be scared because I'm a purple belt, and you're gonna try and kill me. What you don't know is, like, yes, I'm a purple belt, but I'm no Mikey Mitsumeshi. Like, I'm not that good to beat up big, massive, like big people. I'm talking about freaking heavyweights and whatnot. So they're just squashing me and whatnot. I'm just trying to move. Like when I'm going against one of them, like I got it out of my head to be like, you know what? Fuck it. If they're a white belt and I'm a purple belt and they're squashing me and they're smashing me, like I focus on middle things. Like let's think if this was real, what would I do? Right. And my main thing is like defense. Like this big individual is squashing me, smashing me. Think about defense. Think about if this was MMA, if this was street, just hold position, hold like have a good defense and whatnot. Just don't completely give up. That's another thing as well. Just don't give up. Like relax, breathe,
Yeah.
and just keep moving and whatnot. It's very I get a boost of confidence when I do go up against a big guy who doesn't know what they're doing and they're trying to kill me and I just dominate them because they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the moment, say a white belt, it's like 6 months in, now they know how to move their hips and all this sort of stuff. It gets tough. And competitors, going up against competitors is really tough because all they're doing is trying to kill, kill, kill. And that's something that is hard. I could do 1 round, but trying to go 4, 5, 6 rounds of that, like I can't do that anymore. I don't have that in me anymore. And it's more of like the mental's there, the body the body just can't keep up. And
Yeah.
the ribs start hurting, the shoulders are hurting, my hips hurting, and I'm just like, I can't keep that up. So I think it's one of the most humbling martial arts, man, out there. But I definitely enjoy doing it. I leave every Monday, like sometimes demoralized because I just got smashed. Other times feeling good because I had a good session. But the demoralization will never stop me from going back because that's the challenge. I
Mhm.
love it that much to be like, I'm going back. Like I know I'm getting smashed. I know it's gonna hurt. I know whatnot. But I'm happy to stay a purple belt forever, bro. I have no goals to go to be a black belt. I just have a goal to just keep training.
No, yeah. Like I think I'm still a white belt to be fair, so I'm still just learning in general. But I think when I first started, I was like, when like you see the blue belts and the purple belts and the black, you're like, oh, I want to be like that. And then I'm just like, you know what? Let me just have fun. Like that's all that matters at the moment. This is a lifelong like lifestyle that I'm gonna have. So there's no point like just like having like a tunnel vision like target on something. So yeah, like I'm kind of like I have the same mindset a little bit where it's like, okay, I'm gonna get killed when I go up to set when I go over certain guys. So I'm just like, oh flip's sake, let me actually like, if I'm gonna get killed, it's like let me just try and survive like 10 seconds longer than like I usually do with some of these guys. Or like if I can just like get a guard pass, I'm perfectly fine. Like I've done my job for today with like some of the higher belts. But yeah, again, it's just a learning process. I can't lie. Like it's like you're level like I'm a level 5 and everyone else is like level 100 plus, so just enjoy the journey in it. There's no point in stressing at all. Like, when I feel demoralized, it will only like last like when I leave the gym, it will be like 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, it is what it is, move on. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's basically
definitely.
it.
I mean, I do think about, "Oh, I shouldn't have got tapped in now. I shouldn't have got caught in that." It does bug me, and I always like I gotta go back and kind of fix that or whatnot. So it does kind of bug me. I'm just actually trying to find someone on my Instagram who gave me a boost of confidence. I should know his name off by heart, to be honest. He fought in the UFC and everything back in the days. But basically, he was talking about the 2010 rule, which helped me a lot because I'm a small guy getting smashed by everyone. And I'm just like, why is my jiu-jitsu that bad? What the hell's going on? I doubted myself so much for the longest time. I doubted myself. I can't find him right now, but if I find it, I'll bring it up. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Um, Mataroy MMA, Mataroy MMA. Yeah, Mataroyo MMA. Um, I'll send you the profile just so you can take a look. But basically, I follow him, and he mentioned the 2010 rule, which gave me so much confidence. Basically, what was it? 10 years of age and 20 pounds heavier. How do I pull it, man? So if I'm a purple belt, if I went up against someone who's 10 years younger than me, it kind of turns me into a blue belt, right? Or they're one level up sort of thing. Or if I'm a purple belt and I'm going with someone who's 20 pounds heavier than me, it's like I'm butchering it completely. It's like it puts them on the levels. If they were okay, sorry, if they were white belt and they're 20 pound heavier than me, then it's like they were blue belt, right? If they were white belt and they're 10 years younger than me, it's like they were blue belt. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So he was talking about that philosophy, and I was like, that gave me so much more confidence because I was just like, why am I getting smashed by these young guys? But it makes sense. They're younger and they're bigger than me. I'm 40 years old. I have to acknowledge that I am that age. So that helped me a lot mentally to just get over things. But I do think about things I get caught in. The other rule that he spoke about as well is like sometimes, especially as you get older and whatnot, but just in general to help like with your technique. And this is hard, right? It just depends on partners and who's at the gym at the time. But try to, I think he said is 80% of the time, try to roll people with people that you can smash and just get technique and submission and drill those submissions through. And then 20% of the time, roll with someone that's gonna smash you so you can work on your defense and get that back sort of thing and go with that. So that one's a bit difficult because it depends on the partners, it depends on who's at the gym or whatnot. I rarely can go up against someone that I can smash. I can go up against people who I catch submissions with and whatnot, but in regards to smash, that's hard because I'm the smallest guy in the gym. But you know, I really like that those sort of like philosophies and theories on jiu-jitsu, and that's helped me a lot. And I like you said earlier, like depends on your goals. Like I'm not trying to be a world champion. Not trying to be a black belt. I'm not like someone who's obsessed and an expert like Mikey Mitsumetti and whatnot. Like, so I have to admit that as well and be like, yes, this is a long-term goal. I see myself training past 60, 70 if I can. Someone might be just like, I just want to be go to a tournament and be done in a couple of years. You know what I mean? So it just depends on that vision as well. But I think I've finally acknowledged my vision and kind of I'm comfortable with it. So I train with that comfortability now. I'll send that over to you, man. And it's definitely got great jujitsu tips. And the Instagram helps. Sometimes it's nice to just watch a tip and listen to it and be like, oh, cool, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Or I'll focus on that next time we're training or whatnot. Or just like I said, from the mental perspective, I just like listening to him talk to give me like talk about those rules and be like, oh, okay, I shouldn't feel that bad, you know. And he will say something like, "You're injured, it's okay, just don't like go rest." Like, because there's this insecurity of like, oh, I'm gonna miss class this week. I'm not gonna be on the mat. You know, people like this who were intelligent and been training for so long, like, if you're injured, go rest. There's no point getting that injury worse and you're out for 6 months.
Yeah.
You might as well take a week, 2, 3 weeks off rather than 6 months or whatnot. So with the jiu-jitsu, of course, it's very technical, you're enjoying it and whatnot. What are you liking about it specifically? And what are you not liking about it? Like, I wouldn't say not liking it, but what are you finding difficult about jiu-jitsu
Um,
or grappling in general?
I think the first one is probably just like being consistent. Like this was the first week in like 3 months where I was out for training for like 6 days, 7 to 6 days, and 6 to 7 days, and I felt like yesterday I was back for the first time, and like the way I was getting tapped out, I was like, flip, why did I do that? Like, why did I make that mistake? Why did I turn that way? I'm like, oh, flip's sake, I should have. So like sometimes I'm like, crap, I'm a bit rusty all of a sudden. So that momentum like this drop happens every time sometimes. So that's frustrating. And also like I guess like tracking your progress is a bit difficult because as you say, like when you're wrestling and rolling with like better people than you, it's like flip sake, man. Like I don't know if I'm making progress or not. Like so that's probably the most frustrating bit. But I try not like let that get to me. It's more like let me just it'll click eventually, which I can see already. Because when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing, and then like now a couple of like the day one people are coming to me to be like, oh, can you show me how to do this? I'm like, bruh, I don't even know how to do that. So I just showed them some of the basic stuff, but I'm like, ask these guys, man. I'm still like you guys. I'm still learning, man. I'm only here like 6 months after you guys, so we're still in the same boat. Um, so it's. I think I just need to be patient. That's all, really, and persistent. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
That's it, man. And listen, so I stopped trying to compare myself to other people. Some people are obsessed and they go all the way, and I used to be like that. I'm not that anymore. So I have to stop comparing myself with that individual because they're gonna grow so much to get so much more mat time as well.
Mhm.
So, but one thing I started doing recently is like a friend of mine wants, and also with my wife actually, I'm teaching her the basics of self-defense, and a friend of mine wants me to teach him and his kids as well. And initially, I'm like, go to a school. That's the best thing. But like, what I can do is teach you the absolute basics. And I'm talking about basics from a hip escape and those warm-up drills. Like, I'll teach you those things and just show you the mechanics of the way the body works. And, we could do the simple stuff, the simple free submissions of like, be it rear naked choke from the guard, say triangle, armbar, omoplata, or something like that. So I can show you those movements and kind of just the different positions. But to advance, I really advise like, let's go to a school. But what I found by teaching is the intricacies of the technique. It kind of helps me understand the technique because I'm like, if I'm going to teach it, I need to respect it enough to be able to be like, okay, this is what I can teach you. Like I would never go beyond anything to be like, oh, I'll show you how to do a bimbola or something like that. I have no idea of the technicalities of that. But an armbar, okay, cool. Here's one variation that I know I could teach you. Because there's so many different variations of an armbar. And when I mean variations, like different ways of getting an armbar and being in different positions and whatnot. I'm not even going to try and go into all of that because first of all, I don't know all of them. So let me just focus on the one that I do know, which is the basic, and we'll just drill that. And I'll just tell people like it could be boring because we're gonna just drill the same thing, but the point is it's about drilling it and fully understanding it. So God forbid if you ever get into a situation, you could just understand, oh, I lock the arm here, I shift my hips here, I throw my legs out there. Like, you know what I mean? I push through my hips, I make sure that my opponent's thumb is maybe facing up. All those little intricate things, like you could just remember, rather than just drilling multiple things. And I'm not in a position to teach martial arts, to be honest with you. I always say that to people when they ask me to teach them. I'm like, I I I respect martial arts too much to teach, and also it's dangerous because if I try to teach you something and I don't know what I'm talking about or I give you misguidance or misconfidence, God forbid you go on the street and try something and then you get yourself hurt. I have too much respect for it. So I will teach you the basics. Yes, I know basics. I will teach you the ultimate basics, but I will always say, if you really want to learn it, you should go to a class and the instructor will have a curriculum, and the instructor will be confident enough to teach you and show you the intricate details and whatnot. So that's my honest opinion. But I would be comfortable to teach my wife and whatnot, at least the self-defense techniques and stuff like that. So but teaching definitely helps. Just helps kind of break down things. I mean, I think with training with martial arts, so with the striking, have you stopped that completely, or are you still doing a bit of that?
Oh no, I still do that. Like, it's more like one to two times a week now, which I'm okay with. I'm better striking, to be fair. Like, it's just more natural. Like, I've been doing it for a lot longer. So, and plus, like with striking, it's like you don't really, you need IQ, but like sometimes just throwing a jab is just like all you need sometimes. Compared to grappling, where like you legit have to like think out the way you maneuver yourself. But yeah, I'm still training, still like doing the high kicks, still trying to get my flexibility up there. So yeah, but I have a really bad habit of just doing Superman punches when I'm sparring with people. Yeah, so as long as I'm having fun and I'm not like frustrated or like taking it too seriously, I'm okay with my training regime is like in a healthy place right now. Let's just say that, alhamdulillah. So yeah,
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. But again, I would love to like go abroad, like Thailand, for example, and do a camp there. That's like in the plan sometime in the near future. We'll see how that goes though.
Definitely. Definitely. I think that's one thing I'm grateful for, man. I've trained in Thailand, I've done capoeira in Brazil, and when I used to do capoeira, I've done it all over the place. But going to Brazil to do it is amazing. I wish, again, I done jiu-jitsu in Brazil, like just Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I mean, look, you can get high level jiu-jitsu anywhere now, but it would be great to do that in Brazil. But yeah, I've been great. I've been grateful, like being able to train around and whatnot. Thailand was amazing. I loved the routine. But they make you want to fight out there, man. They immediately, because I have a little bit of skill, my technique's not too bad. Immediately they're, oh, do you want to fight? I'm like, man, I'm on vacation here, please. Like, they just immediately want to fight out there. But it's so much fun. Being on like that lifestyle, just like waking up in the morning, going training, coming back, getting a massage for like £5, then going out and visit the Thailand and exploring and whatnot, eating nice food. Such a great routine. I loved it the 5 days I was there training and just kind of being a tourist there. It was just the best. But the fighting and whatnot, I mean, I had this thing in my head that I did want to do one MMA fight, just to finish off what because I competed before. The last time I competed was 2011, and after I got injured, it was just more like a mental thing of getting back into it, and I don't know what it is, but I was supposed to do the MMA fight in 2012. I got injured. Cool. I got my confidence back. I tried again in Hong Kong. My fight got cancelled in the last week. Like, okay,
Oh
cool.
damn.
I just about to sign up for another fight in Singapore. I remember speaking to the MMA coach. I was like, let's do it. COVID hits. And I was just like, man, is that Allah just giving me a sign? Like, really, is that Allah giving me a sign? Is that, like, is that, am I gonna start using it as an excuse? But now I'm 4 years old. I'm like, I don't spar striking no more. We do it at the end of class sometimes, but I avoid the sparring classes now for striking. I don't want to take headshots anymore. I'm too old for that. I don't want it anymore. I think I took a lot of unnecessary headshots when I was training and competing in the amateurs and whatnot. Um, but at the times, young, cool. I felt like a tough guy at the time. I was shit, to be honest with you, but I felt that. I felt good about it. But now I'm like, man, I wish I kind of didn't, because if I'm not gonna compete and be a, how do I put it, like going to the professional and try to make money off it, I was like, I shouldn't have taken those beatings and whatnot. But anyway, I'm glad I did compete. And maybe it's not gonna happen. Maybe like I think it's a sign from God saying like, you listen, don't compete. You know, and those are the signs and whatnot. Maybe in jiu-jitsu and whatnot, but again, it's training and it's commitment to the training, lifestyle and everything's different. I can't go hard as much as I used to. I can't train 2 times a day, or I can't train every single day. Just the body just doesn't recover as much. But I've been thinking about just going to a jiu-jitsu tournament, do my normal routine, and just go there and train, just roll. Like, forget about the tournament, forget about the medal or winning, just roll. Go there as a rolling session or whatnot. So I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, you might as well go for it, bro. I know the UAE is pretty big when it comes to jiu-jitsu in general. Like, it's a growing community, and there's like a big tournament happening very soon as well. So you never know.
Yeah, yeah, they do the ADCC and whatnot, the Abu Dhabi, and the sheikhs out here. They love jiu-jitsu, and they always get like loads of Brazilians over
Yeah.
to kind of teach and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's big, it's definitely bigger. And then Habib, opening up from the wrestling perspective, and obviously being Muslim, like wrestling just huge
Yeah.
out here too. A lot of wrestlers from Uzbekistan and those regions are all my coaches, all them guys, they're all from like Uzbekistan, just high level wrestlers.
Plus, like
It,
the UFC is like a hub in Abu Dhabi now as well. So it's like a legit like
it's huge.
place now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's huge. Oh, it's huge. And now Saudi as well, so that's gonna grow. I mean, in the Middle East, it's gonna be huge. But yeah, MMA is massive. It's massive out here and whatnot.
We need some Bengali rep, bro. Put on the
Oh
glass.
man, there's a dude in who fights for in the UK. What's the organization?
Oh no, it's a Cage Warriors.
Cage Warriors. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a Bengali dude there. I think he's like a double champ there or whatnot. So
I know
hopefully
you're
he
talking
gets
about.
into the
Yeah.
UFC.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
that'd be lit. That'd be so lit if that
Yeah,
happened.
basically, I mean, that's one beautiful thing about MMA and whatnot is, man. Because be it you watch one MC or UFC, you got representatives from all over the world. Country-wise, religion-wise, all that sort of stuff. So, I know in Karate Combat, there's a Pakistani fighter there. I know in one of the championship, we had an Indian heavyweight champion. Bengali, like there'll be someone. To the guy from Cage Warrior, hopefully he comes gets into the UFC or whatnot. But there's some Bengali fighters in one championship, I think. But yeah, you just get talent from all over the world, which is amazing.
Yeah, like what I love this is I think I finally like understood like why the UFC is so special. Just the MMA community in general, like the martial art community is just that, like it's basically Street Fighter but real life. Because it's like everyone's like a different character from different countries. They're on their own path, but they all like come together. But they also have their own parallel stories together. Like UFC 300 was like the first like event where I was like, oh, I get why UFC is special now. Like, bro, that last like round with between Gaethje and Holloway, like I legit was like, oh, this is amazing. I legit was jaw dropped. I was like, no way that happened. That was something out of a movie, bro. That felt scripted, but it wasn't. It was that was insane. So I've just been hooked like with everything ever since then. It's so cool because like I think after that I binged like pretty much Holloway's entire run. And I was like, oh, this is such a sick story. But then like you see like Aldo, McGregor, Poirier. I was like, crap, they have the same. Like their careers pretty much parallel. Like his story is parallel with their stories as well. So I was like, crap, let me jump onto their like title runs and career runs. I'm like, bro, so like that's just the UFC. There's like thousands of other like stories like that happening at the same time. It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's so magical, man. Honestly, it's so cool.
And I agree. It's the first sport I've ever been into. Like I'm not into any other sport growing up, football, basketball, nothing. I don't know anything. But this one, even boxing, I was more into boxing, but I don't know it as much. I just was more into it because it was a combat sport.
Mhm.
But yeah, with the UFC, with MMA, I never forget my first, like when I first went to my first Kung Fu class with Sifu Edwin, and it was called Applied Shaolin Concepts MMA S, mixed martial arts system. I didn't know what MMAS was. I didn't know what mixed martial art was. And he was the first one to introduce me because we were doing traditional Kung Fu, but then it was like, all right, well, we got to learn some of the grappling. And he was the one who introduced me to jiu-jitsu and all that sort of stuff. But homework, some of the homework was like, go research on the Gracie family, go research on Hoist Gracie, the UFC champion #1, go do some, watch UFC. And that was our homework to understand what the hell is it? Because I think you should see clips here and there like, holy shit, this is brutal shit. But only after I got into martial arts, I realized my sheep was like, yeah, it's brutal, but that's the honest way of fighting it. Unfortunately, it's not pretty, right?
Yeah.
And yes, some guys look pretty, like Anderson Silva, whatnot. But it comes down to reality of fighting, it can be ugly. So you got to watch MMA and understand it. But yeah, no, Bo, getting into it, and then like you said, following characters. And their storylines, you get so emotionally invested. I try not to, but like last week when Izzy lost, I felt shitty, man. I felt shitty. Like, congrats to DDP and everything, but you get so emotionally attached. You're like, oh man. And then, but you know, like you got to keep that boundary. Like when Islam and those guys fight, I get so nervous for them or whatnot. Like
Yeah.
when Izzy just fought, I got nervous. I felt that the first time I ever felt that was for Anderson Silva, and I was heartbroken when he lost. And I went on the defensive and all that sort of shit online, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I like first of all, I understood it. Like when my friends will talk about football and they'll freaking be fighting each other over like Arsenal and Man United or whatever, I'll be like, you guys are fucking weird people.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I get it now, guys. I get it. Like
It's the
the
same thing.
emotions are invested. But I understand. But sometimes you got to take a step back because like they don't know that you exist. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's good to be a fan, enjoy their martial arts, and hopefully enjoy their characteristics and whatnot, but they don't pay my bills and
Yeah.
that sort of
You're
stuff.
just there for the narrative, to be fair, than anything.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because it feels like a narrative, to be fair, in general. Like you have the archetypes, you have what, the Russian from the mountains, you have the underdog from the favela who was poor and grew up in the favela with Oliveira. You have just a regular Aussie from down under with Volkanovski. So it's like, bro, these guys are like, this could be like a video game cast with all these
Yeah.
fighters. It's legit the same thing. That's the way I saw it. That's the way I see it. But like, it's real. So yeah, it's so unique, man. I love it.
Yeah, same. It's
Yeah.
so insane. With the UFC, I mean, I like one championship and I do watch certain fights, especially when like Liam Harrison's fighting or Mikey Mutsumechi or, you know, some DJ and whatnot, Rotolo brothers. I'm very specific with that. And I've been to a few of the one championship events, and it's a great spectacle. But there's something about the UFC and their marketing machine, and the way they tell their stories and whatnot. I just feel like there's a different level, and that's why I'm just hooked on that. I when we made me and K West, sorry, do the fight talk. I'm very honest, and I say I always prioritize UFC. Like my life, obviously, as we discussed earlier, we have our schedule, our routines, our own things that we have to do, our own lifestyles. So if I have a couple of hours on Sunday to watch fights, I'm gonna prioritize UFC no matter what, a fight card, or a big UFC over one championship or Bellator PFL, whatever it is. If there's specific fights that I need to catch, I'll try and catch those. Um, you know, if Vortang was fighting or whatnot, I'll catch that. But in regards to watching the whole cards, I would always prioritize UFC. There's something there that they've captured me. Like I'm a fan. Like that's the brand that I've been captured by, and I love it and whatnot. And it's definitely amazing. It's definitely fun.
Yeah, like with I understand where you're coming from. Like I'm like that with one as well. Like I'll watch like Musameshi, I'll watch Rotolo, I'll watch like Takeru, Superlek, and them lot. Like the Haggerty fight's coming up with Superlek, which I'm gassed about. But the UFC is, I think, the way they market themselves is very much like WWE. It's the same like business model where it's like a movie. Like here's the movie. We'll have people on the mic doing promos. You have like McGregor talking crap to sell the narrative. Basically, it's the same concept. I think that's why the UFC are so good at like selling fights. Well, compared to like one, for example, it's just like two martial artists from this country and this country. Here you go. But like, there's with UFC, there's there's personal beef and drama. People love drama, so you just feed everything into that, and then the money's made. It works. I can't
It
complain.
works,
Yeah,
exactly. It worked. And I know Chatri at one championship always says that, he doesn't want to build a business off that narrative of entertainment and whatnot. But the fact is that entertainment works, and you got to get paid to pay your fighters and to get the right fighters, and to run that business and whatnot.
yeah.
But it works. It's a multi-billion-dollar company now, man, and they're doing amazing things, and so yeah, it's fun. It's freaking fun. Like the last week's one was deep. Me and Kate was talking about Fight Talk about the African thing. I mean, it's a narrative. It's there.
Yeah,
It's deep.
yeah.
It's emotional. It brings up emotions and whatnot. But
Like the John Jones Aspinall thing. It's writing itself. It's legit. Right, the story, the narrative is writing itself. They know
yeah,
why. They don't have to do anything. They can just sit back, let the fans do their thing, and they're gonna roll up money anyway. It works. It's working already. So
I do get a little bit sometimes upset with not upset. That doesn't matter how I feel, but a little bit annoyed sometimes where the entertainment takes over the martial art values. I am a martial art purist. Like I like that. So based on skill set and whatnot, like I grappling and whatnot. If someone finds a way to win, even if they laid on top of someone, I know it's boring, but I'm a purist in the sense that, well, the person at the bottom, is your job to get up. I know how it feels to be stuck in the bottom. I've trained jiu-jitsu and wrestling. I know how it feels,
it's the worst
how
feeling, man.
hard
It's
it
the
is.
worst feeling.
Yeah, so when I see
Yeah.
in the UFC, I'm like, yeah, I get it, man. If you can hold someone down like that, that's an amazing skill set in the sense that you're able to distribute your weight and move in position to hold this individual down. So it's the individual at the bottom's job to get back up. So I don't like it when they boo, and I don't like when they try to like stand up fighters and whatnot. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I know one championship tries to push so you don't stall on the ground, but that's the entertainment element. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you all follow this entertainment element of like all standing back up. They're not really doing anything there. But
Yeah.
from a purist perspective, if you can't get up, then you got to stay down there until you figure it out. And I train it. That's why I'm like, I know it's hard to get up. So I understand from that perspective.
And again, at the end of the day, it's all about making money in it. Like, there's casuals that I know that have never watched like UFC before that will like tune in with the whole like I don't know like the most recent fight, for example. Like Adesanya, like casuals will know about him. They'll watch him. Like again, it works. But yeah, like to be fair, like if I were an aspiring MMA fighter, personally, I wouldn't go to the UFC because I kind of like know the business and how it works. You have to be very, very like stern. Like Khabib, for example, like he kind of knows. That's because like his dad's coaching and like his teachings. But like, it's a business that's not for the weak, and like not for like certain values. To be fair, that's just me. Like I'd rather go to again some place like One or like Ryzen, for example, to because they're a lot more on the low key, which I would rather go for. But that's just me. I don't know if you agree with that. Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it depends, man. I mean, it depends what you want, because UFC is the top echelon, right?
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, one PFL, right? They have top level fighters as well.
Mm.
But if you want to be known as the greatest, it depends
Of
what you
course,
want, I guess. If
yeah,
you want
yeah.
the money and the fame
The
and to be
UFC, yeah,
known as
yeah.
the greatest fighter,
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if the best fighter in the world, right? We don't know, right? Because they haven't fought. See if the best fighter in the world was at one or Ryzen,
No one would know.
we wouldn't know. We
Yeah.
wouldn't know. We
There's
wouldn't
that
know.
one guy who's
But
got three belts, right? There's that one
yeah,
heavyweight. Yeah. No one knows about him. Like,
yeah,
my friends are like,
exactly,
yeah. I'm
exactly.
like, what? It's
Yeah,
mad.
so that's like you just don't know. And first of all, like, and then second of all, they will never fight. They'll never do a cross promotion to find out. But in general, you just never know because that UFC is the one that is the place to be. So it just depends what you want. And
Yeah.
I mean, like someone like Habib who kept to his values, his religious values, and all that sort of stuff, didn't really care about the money and the fame.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened. Like
Yeah.
like you know, if you can follow that footsteps, yeah. But if you want to, you know, if you're in the UFC, really, people want to be in the UFC for a, you know, to build a reputation, build money. You put
Yeah.
your life on the line. Could you imagine getting your head smashed in? You put your life on your line. The
Yeah.
least you could do is get the money and you know, try and retire as soon as possible. Like that
Yeah.
would be my goal. Like if I was, you know, of course, the mental of a fighter as well is different. You
Yeah.
know, people try to, like, when I tell them that I've competed, they try to say I'm a fighter. I say, lad, you can't class me as a fighter. I can never class myself as a fighter, even though I've done some competitions before and some amateur fights. Because the mentality is different. These people are up for fighting. They're up for taking the hits and giving hits. Like
Yeah.
they're up for putting their life on the line. And I think they should be rewarded massively for that. So, you know, maybe they could do it for good 10, 20 years or what, I don't know, 10 years or something like that, and then retire. But to do it for 30 years and,
Uh,
you know, you're
uh,
broke at the end of it and you're taking a
it's
toll
crazy,
on your
man.
body,
Yeah.
hard on the head, man. So I don't know. I believe fighters should get paid the most just because they literally putting their lives on the line to
Oh, facts.
entertain.
Yeah.
But also, you know, they want to be the best and everything like that. But one element is to entertain people. So they should get paid everything.
No, no, facts. Yeah, I agree. It's yeah. So I've heard some horror stories about like how little they get paid. I'm like, what the hell? Like this is not like a feasible lifestyle, man. What these guys do, it's insane. Like it's very corporate and like greedy, but it is what it is, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's a business, man.
Yeah.
End of the day, though, it's like any other job. It's like if I started up my company now, I'm gonna get paid that much. After 16 years, I'm on that much. But I still want what, you know, what other people want. That you gotta keep growing in the company. And that's like the UFC.
Yeah.
Like you start, of course, you're not gonna get the same money as a John Jones or a McGregor or whatnot.
Yeah.
You gotta build yourself up, and then once you get become a champion, then you get paid for you fight, you get more money or whatnot. It's like that. That's any job. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're not gonna join a company and immediately they're gonna give you $1 million. You just started, man. Like
Yeah.
fucking work your way up.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair, fair, fair. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm probably gonna have to bounce a lot sooner than usual. I have training in half an hour, so we might have to call it short here. But again,
All right, I won't stop you from training, man. Go do it.
it was a perfect way to end the stream, I guess, because it loops in full circle. Great talk as usual. There's still a lot to talk about. I can't lie. Movies, Deadpool, and stuff we've completely missed
I
on.
know.
Right, it is what it is. Next time though, inshallah. Bro. Okay, so yeah, this was the was it the episode of what the Brothers Geek Out and YK2K. Thank you all for watching. Details of our social medias down below. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, we shall see you guys in the next episode.
All right. Peace.
Peace.